What's up guys, it's Wasabi and I'm back with another review. Today we have a new keyboard sent to me by Asus, but as always with the content on this channel, these are my thoughts, personal opinions and experiences with the product. And today we have the Asus ROG Falchion Ace HFX. Now here's a quick look at the packaging because that's what you pay for too. First you have the keyboard wrapped up in the sleeve, very nice Asus presentation as always. It comes with a keyboard cover, a warranty booklet, a quick start guide, a set of ROG stickers, a keycap puller, an extra control keycap, braided USB-A to USB-C cable, and that's pretty much all that's included inside the box. Now before we go any further, let's manage some expectations here real quick. This is a Hall effect keyboard by Asus ROG, and this is a pretty big deal. Hall effect keyboards with magnetic switches have been dominating the gaming keyboard market for quite some time now, and this is their first introduction of a gaming keyboard with rapid trigger and adjustable actuation. Good job Asus, you're not the last. And I'm gonna straight up say that this is a pretty good gaming keyboard and a great start for the first Hall effect offering. And this one will be available for a price of about $190. The Falchion Ace HFX is a good looking gaming keyboard. From the RGB panel with nice vibrant colors to the angles and lines on the top side of the keyboard, it's a very nice use of Asus ROG brand design. I like how the design here doesn't overdo it with the gamer aesthetics, but it has just enough to make it stand out and feel like you've got an awesome piece of gaming tech on your setup, which is one of the things that I find make keyboards from big gaming brands exciting. Open case design doesn't do much for acoustics, but it's something that I appreciate on a gaming keyboard because it's just so easy to blow out the dust and dirt that get in between the keycaps. On the back, you have a couple of buttons and controls that are unique to this keyboard, which I will get more into in a bit. The Falchion Ace HFX is a 65% layout keyboard, so you have function keys on the right and arrow keys as well, but what I find interesting are the unique controls on the back of the case itself. First, you got a rapid trigger toggle switch, a quick and easy way to turn rapid trigger on or off, so you don't need to open up software or press a combination of keys. I like this feature and I find it convenient because for some games I prefer having rapid trigger off and I can just flip the switch and I'm all good to go. The next thing you'll notice is a USB port switch because you have dual USB ports on this keyboard. This feature is actually so that you can switch between two devices, but for me I see this feature as a benefit for a different purpose. On the bottom side, you got adjustable feet that allows for 3 tilt angles, more Asus ROG branding, and a long strip of rubber on the front that does a good job at keeping the keyboard in position. The build quality is good and overall feels quite substantial for an ABS case build that is this thin. The mode button and switches on the back don't feel flimsy at all, and for what's going on inside the keyboard, you have an aluminum plate with 5 layers of dampening and a gasket mount. Bottom case is made of ABS and it's all sandwiched together in this slim design and it feels well put together. The weight is what I would describe as being relative to its size. It's just 643 grams and I like that a lot because it's not too heavy and I can easily reposition my keyboard, which is something that I do quite often for gaming. I like that it feels substantial enough and doesn't feel like a cheap hollow keyboard for the price. This keyboard has a touch panel on the back which allows you to control up to 5 different modes that you cycle through with the mode button right here. First you have volume mode, which is swipe left and right to increase or decrease the volume and double tap to mute. For medium mode, swipe left to backtrack and right to skip track and double tap to pause or play. Lighting mode, swipe left or right to increase or decrease the brightness and double tap to turn it on or off. Adjustable actuation mode, left to lower actuation point of all keys and right to increase. Double tap lets you select specific keys that you want to adjust the actuation point. Just note that for actuation adjustments from the keyboard, it starts from 0.1 millimeters and increases with increments of 0.5 all the way up to 4 millimeters. For fine adjustments of 0.1 millimeters, you will have to do it on the software. The fifth mode is a customization mode and that lets you assign different functions for the different gestures. Double shot PBT keycaps, they are pretty decent. These have a grainy texture that you will find on most of their recent gaming keyboards. But just note that for some regions, the keyboard may come fitted with UV coated ABS keycaps instead. This keyboard has the new ROG HFX magnetic switches. These are pretty much ratio style magnetic switches with a closed bottom design, polycarbonate top with a palm stem and bottom housing, 4mm travel distance with an initial force of 40 and a total force of 55 gram force. These switches have a walled stem design, very little stem wobble, and they feel great for gaming and good for day-to-day typing. Unfortunately, if you have a preference for lighter switches, you are pretty much stuck with these ratio style switches, as the PCB is not compatible with KS20 or KS37 style switches. switches. Hall effect features, you have rapid trigger, adjustable actuation, toggle key, dynamic keystroke, and mod tab. Pretty much all the standard features that you can expect from a Hall effect gaming keyboard today. It also has a mode called speed tab, which is basically SOCD, and snap tab, which have been ruled out as cheating in some games that can result in getting you banned. The mode is off by default, but the option is there if you want to try it in games that are okay with it. The keyboard design sits pretty low, and the keycaps are a little shorter in height than traditional cherry profile keycaps. You have 3 tilt positions. The default tilt angle sits a little lower than most gaming keyboards on the market, and I felt that tilt position 2 was a lot closer to the standard height. As for how it feels to type on, it's pretty good considering what they can do with the slim ABS case design, squeezing in 5 layers of dampening, which does help absorb vibrations and remove pinging noises. It is by no means a soft luscious typing experience that you would expect from a good custom mechanical keyboard, but as it is for most gamers, it is more than good enough. I quite prefer a stiffer typing feel for gaming compared to something that makes me feel like I'm typing on a delicious cloud, which would then be a keyboard that I would enjoy more for regular typing. Now here's a quick sound test to give you a better idea of how this keyboard sounds. This keyboard is compatible with Aura Sync, and you've got the standard set of Asus ROG lighting effects with a few added Hall effect ones as well. Colors are vibrant and bright, and the RGB panel looks really good too, and it gives the keyboard a bit more of that gamer aesthetic. Connectivity wise, this is wired only. It's got 8000Hz wired polling rate that allows for a response time of 0.125 milliseconds and an average click latency of 1.1 milliseconds. For a gaming keyboard, it's really good. Unfortunately, if you dislike Armoury Crate, this keyboard, as good as it is not enough to change my mind. First, you are greeted with a dashboard which for whatever reason shows everything but your connected devices. And to get to your device, you have to access it through the menu on the side. Once you get here, you can remap your keys, assign different functions, and Hall effect features such as toggle key, dynamic keystroke, and mod tab. On the analog trigger page, that's where you can adjust the actuation point of all keys and individual keys as well, from 0.1 to 4 millimeters. You can assign rapid trigger to selected keys with a sensitivity of 0.1 to 2.5 millimeters, and you got the option for continuous rapid trigger as well. The touch panel page lets you enable or disable 4 preset modes, and here you can customize the 5th mode with various mouse and keyboard controls or shortcuts. And lastly, you have the lighting page where you can select different lighting effects and customize their behaviors. Thankfully, there is a lighter version of the software for this keyboard, which during my time of testing, it was in the beta stage. The lighter version of the software does offer a much better experience, but if you own more than one Asus product at a time and just want one app to configure all your Asus products, you gotta use the full version of Armoury Crate. This is a modern gaming keyboard that stays true to what makes a gaming keyboard a gaming keyboard. Gaming keyboards are all about performance, where this one has been working and feeling great for gaming. The touch panel is interesting and has been working well, but I much prefer using buttons or knobs for media and volume controls. This keyboard doesn't do too much, or in this case too little, to lose its identity as a gaming keyboard to try and win the appeal of gamers who prefer a good custom mechanical. Between the extreme ends of the typing experience of a gaming keyboard and a custom mechanical, this one sits right in the middle. It's got 8000Hz wired polling rate, which today should be the standard for all gaming keyboards. Even though it's not a need, but most gamers these days want to have the latest and the fastest tech. You also got rapid trigger and adjustable actuation, which has become the standard expectations from gamers who play FPS and rhythm-based games. So in conclusion, what are 3 things I like about this keyboard? The first thing is that it stays true to the brand design, and you know, Asus being a big gaming brand, the last thing I would want to see from them is a basic looking mechanical keyboard. The second thing is the unique controls with the touch panel, the rapid trigger switch, and the option to use the left or right USB port. It offers enough for gamers to explore. And the last thing is that I like how the performance and features that you get comes in a slim and portable design. Portability may not be the most important factor factor for most consumers, but you know, thinking about the bigger picture of esports professionals and aspiring pros, I'd imagine portability would be quite an important factor for players at international events. Now, what are 3 things I feel could be improved with this keyboard? First, I would like to see a white version of this keyboard because it just looks so cool. The usual white, silver, and grey combination, I think it would look really good on its keyboard. The second thing is gamers would like the freedom to personalize their experience, and that's where Switch compatibility comes in, which is something that I feel is a missed opportunity with this keyboard. I feel the next version should use a PCB that allows for KS20 or KS37 switches, which are the switch types that most aftermarket options offer. I really like this keyboard and how it sounds and how it feels, but let's say maybe 5 months down the road, I want to change things up a little. Maybe try lighter switches with a different sound experience to keep things fresh, but unfortunately, I can't do that with this keyboard. It's a good gaming keyboard, but for a lot of gamers today, they're not gonna get it because they know that they would be a lot happier having a high-fat keyboard that they can continue to try new things over the years. So my suggestion is at the very least make it possible for gamers to use different switches with the next version. And the last recommendation from me is for Asus to do a web-based software. Keep it simple enough to tweak the important stuff. Many people will be grateful for that, and really it will have a big effect on a gamer's choice between this and something else. You know, gamers should spend less time on software and more time enjoying the product. Final thoughts and what I think of its value. Well, for a pre-built high-fat keyboard from a big gaming company, it's pretty good. Except for Armoury Crate software being absolute garbage, and almost everyone tells me they won't buy an Asus product because of the software, which for tech products, I feel it's a fair thing to say. But this is probably one of the nicest high-fat gaming keyboards that you can find today from a big gaming brand. Is it worth getting it now? I would honestly wait for them to work on the software and improve the light version as well. I say the full version needs work because there are gamers who have more than one product from Asus and would like to control all their peripherals in one software. Maybe other reviewers have had a better experience with it than I have, but software is a big part of any high-fat keyboard and I can't fully recommend it unless you are fine with Armoury Crate. This is a good high-fat keyboard from Asus ROG that I feel will do well as long as they do something about the software, because with the many experiences using products with Armoury Crate, it feels like a mandatory waste of time and space on my computer. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful in any way, please leave a like and subscribe to support the channel, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.